morning. Today we're going to start with lesson 2 and work an application problem. So during this process, what's important for you is to make sure you have your math notebook, and then you will be just following along with me as we work the problems. So labeling, dating, all of these things are very, very important for us to keep track and be able to review notes for when we study and so forth. So make sure that you are following the directions here as we go through this. Okay. Um, so for lesson 2, what we're going to do up here is we're going to write module, MOD, period, 3, unit, or I'm sorry, lesson 2. Okay. Our primary objective is going to be working with area and perimeter to solve problems. Okay? And then make sure you put the date up here. Okay? It's also helpful if you go ahead and just put your name up here, even though your name should be on your notebook. This way, if your paper gets lost or something, that we'll have it. All right, so we're going to start out by looking at a problem. And I'll just show you the problem that we're going to be looking at here. Tommy's dad is teaching him how to make tables out of tiles. Tommy makes a small table that is 3 feet wide and 4 feet long. Okay, so we're going to draw a small table. We'll label it Tommy's table. All right, and it says that it's 3 feet wide. Just use these 1, 2, 3 lines to indicate 3 feet wide, and then just try to make it just a little bit longer. Okay. Now we're going to label this 3 feet and 4 feet. FT is the abbreviation for feet. Okay. How many square tiles does he need to cover the top of the table? How many feet of decorative border material will his dad need to cover the edges of the table? Okay, so basically what we're looking at here is finding the area and the perimeter. So for us to be able to tile all of these, right, like this, covering this whole area, right? Okay, so this is all area right here. Area is this part in the middle. And area equals length times width. Okay, so area equals length times width, and that equals 4 times 3. Excuse me. So area equals 12 feet squared. Just multiply. Now for perimeter, let's see. Perimeter equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. So the length is 4, width is 3, right? So 2 times 4 is 8, plus 2 times 3 is 6. So perimeter equals 14 feet, and that's just regular feet. So we have area is 12 feet squared, perimeter is 14 feet. Right? Okay, now we will answer our actual question. How many feet of border material will Dad need to cover the edges? So this part around, right? We are going to say Tommy will need Tommy will need 12 square feet or square foot tiles, and Dad will need 14 feet of border material. Okay, so anytime we're dealing with word problems like this, it's really important that we label everything. Okay, all right, now to extend this just a little bit, Tommy's dad made a table that was 6 feet wide, okay, and 8 feet long. So we're going to take Dad's table, okay, excuse me, and we're going to make it 6 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 8. Excuse me. So 6 by 8 feet. All right. And then area equals length times width. So the question is, Tommy's dad makes this table, and they want us to know that want us to answer the question when both tables are placed together, what is their combined area? Okay. So this is a basic addition type of a situation where we're just going to add these two together. So we solved this one already. We know the area of Tommy's table is 12 feet. Let's figure out Dad's. 8 times 6, 48 feet squared is the area of Dad's table. That's all there's to it. Okay. Now we have to add 12 plus 48. So 48 plus 12 equals 60 feet squared. Okay. And then we answer that by just simply saying both tables together will give 60 square feet of area. Now, a couple of things here. Make sure that you're writing neatly, that you're labeling the lesson, putting the date in your name, and that you are following along as closely as you can, just making sure that everything kind of flows from top to bottom, that it makes sense, so that when you go back and look at this, you not only can see the formula for these, because and add this, perimeter equals 2 times side plus 2 times side. You can say side 1 and side 2 if you want. I mean, whatever makes it easier for you. Basically, you just take this side times 2 and this side times 2 because they're the same on both sides. 4 here is 4 here. 3 here is 3 here. So you're just timesing it by 2. But make sure that you have it clearly labeled and the answers circled. Just makes things flow a little bit better. Okay? All right. Now we're going to go into a little bit more depth here in terms of the concept development for this idea of perimeter and area. Okay? Please make sure that you're using your notebook to record this information. Okay? All right. So if you start a new piece of paper, please make sure that you continue to use Module 3, Lesson 2. Okay? That's important that we continue that kind of flow. All right, so if we have 3 1-inch tiles, and you can use this, use the tiles that I gave you that are in the white bucket there on the counter, or you can just draw this out, whichever way is better for you. So I want you to think about and maybe ask somebody in your area, what is the width and length of this? If you put 3 1-inch tiles together, can pause it and talk with somebody about it. But just think about specifically, what is the width and length of this rectangle? Okay, so it's 1 inch, right, this way, and it's 1, 2, 3 inches this way, right? Okay, so we have a width of 1 inch, a length of 3 inches. Now we're going to make it 2 times as long. Okay, so we take 2 times 3, right, which is 6. So we're going to add 3 more, right, times 2 equals 6 inches, right? So now we have turned a 1 by 3 into a 1 by 6, right? Now, if we're going to make it 3 times as long as this, right? 3 times 3 equals 9. So we're going to add 3 more tiles. And now it's a 1 by 9. So we have the original length of 3 inches. The current length is 3 times as many. So 3 times 3 is 9, right? Now, if we're going to continue this process and we have a rectangle that is 3 times as wide as it is long, or as long as it is wide. So 3 times 3 equals 9. So if we're going to make this 3 times the width equals 9, then the width has to be 3, right? So the width is 1, 2, 3, and the length then would be 3 times 3, 9. So we have, let's see, how do I want to do this? Let's do it in tiles. So we have it 3 wide, and then we have it 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So then all these would be filled in as well, right? And you make this with tiles, or draw it out either way. You can see we have 3 for the area, right? Area equals length times width. So we have 3 inches and 9 inches. So 9 times 3 equals 27 inches squared. Okay, that's the area, right? Okay, and then the perimeter would equal 9, or 2 times 9, because we have 9 here and 9 here, plus 2 times 3, because we have a 3 over here. So this is 18 plus 6. So perimeter equals 24 inches. Okay? All right. The next problem, feel free to use a different page, paper, or continue, whichever works better for you. If you use a new page, please remember to go ahead and label it each time, just to make sure we keep everything together. Name and date also, please. All right. So we have a rectangle that's 2 meters wide, and it's 3 times as long as it is wide. So we're going to draw this out to find the length. Okay, so 2 meters wide, 2 meters. Okay, so we have this 2 meters wide. right? Then we have 3 times as long as it is wide. That means the length can be thought of as 3 segments or short lines, each of them 2 meters long. So we're going to have 1, right? 2, 3, 4. Oops. No, each of these is 2. So 2, 2, 2. 3 times. All right, so now if we look at this, 1, 2, 3 times 2, 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6 meters, right? So we have a length of 6 meters and the width of 2 meters. Okay, so we have 2 here and we have 6 all together up here. 6 meters. Well, what is the area? Well, area equals length times width. So area equals 6 times 2. So area equals 12 inches squared. Now, if you have a rectangle that is 3 meters long, okay, 3 meters long, and 4 times as wide, 4 times as wide as it is long. Okay, so let's draw this out and see what we come up with. So we have 3 meters long. So let's say 1, 2, 3. Just kind of rough draw it in there. 3 meters long, and then 4 times as wide as it is long, right? So 4 times 3 equals 12. So this will be 12. I didn't make it 12 lines. I just want to make it so big. Okay, so that's 12 meters, right? All right, so now let's take a look at this one for area. Area equals length times width. Area equals 3 times 12. So area equals, what's 3 times 12? 36 meters squared. So that's the area. And then what's the perimeter? Well, perimeter equals 2 times side 1 plus 2 times side 2. So 2 times side 1 is 3. 2 times 3 plus 2 times 12. Right? So perimeter equals 6 plus 24. So perimeter equals 30 meters. Excuse me. All right, there you go. All right, now we're going to solve a multiplicative comparison word problem. I know that sounds fancy, but it's not that bad. Let's just take a look one step at a time. Again, let's label Module 3, Lesson 2. All right, so Christine painted a mural with an area of 18 square meters and a length of 6 meters. Okay, so we have a length of 6 meters and we have an area that equals 18 meters squared. Okay, so they haven't given us the other side. We need to know this side, right? Okay, so what we do then, what's the opposite of, let's just write this question down. What is the opposite operation for multiplication? Answer, division. Yes. Okay, so we're going to divide. So here we have 6 times x equals 18, right? So we're going to divide both sides by 6. That cancels these out. 6 divided by 6 is 1, just leaving x. 18 divided by 6, or 18 divided by 6 equals 3, because 6 times 3 is 18. So x equals 3. So we have a 6 by 3 here. So 3 meters is the width there. Now, here's the question. Her next Muriel will be the same length, but it's 4 times as wide. Okay? So, what does this mean for us? Well, it's going to be the same 6 meters long. Sorry. So this is going to be 6 meters. But now we're going to make this 4 times wider. So what's 4 times 3? 12 meters. And that's going to be wide. Okay? So we have 12. And this time I just went ahead and drew it out 12 lines just to make it more clear, 12 meters. Okay, so now we're going to look at what is the perimeter of this one. So for this one, they're only asking us to do perimeter. I am going to show you that area still is length times width and 12 times 6, right? So area equals 12 times 6 is 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, so we have 72. The area is 72 meters squared. Okay, just for your information. But perimeter here is the one that we're really looking at. So this is 2 times 6 plus 2 times 12. So perimeter equals 12 plus 24. So perimeter equals 24 plus 10 is 34, plus 2 more is 36. 36 what? Meters. Okay? That's it. All right, now we're going to work through a problem that's a little bit more complex. So I want you to take your time and really think about this one. Sherry's rectangular garden is 18 square meters. Okay, so for this one, I actually want to put the problem out here so you can see it as we go through it. Okay? So bear with me here just a second. All right, there we go. So Sherry's rectangular garden is 8 square meters. The longer side is 4 meters. Nancy's garden is twice as long and twice as wide as Sherry's rectangular garden. All right, so what we have to figure out first is Sherry. So again, please make sure you put Module 3, Lesson 2, okay? All right, so here we go. We have Sherry's garden is 8 square meters. Okay, so her garden is 8 meters squared. That's her area. Area equals. Okay? And we know that the longer side of her garden is 4 meters. Okay, so our question is what times 4 equals 8? Or 8 divided by 4 equals 2. So this side is 2 meters. Okay? Are you with me so far? Okay, sweet. All right, now it says Nancy's garden is twice as long and twice as wide. Okay, so here's Nancy's garden. Let's put this as Sherry. And here's Nancy. Okay? So Nancy's garden is twice as long and twice as wide. Okay, so let's see. Width is 4 times 2. So this is 8. And then 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, so it's 8 meters here and 4 meters here. Okay? Now, it asks us, let's see. Okay, they want us to find the perimeter of both of these. Okay, so we have perimeter. Let's do this, Sherry's first. Perimeter equals 2 times 4 plus 2 times 2. So perimeter equals 8 plus 4. Perimeter equals 12 meters. All right, now for Nancy, perimeter equals 2 times 8 plus 2 times 4. Okay, so that equals 16 plus 8. So the perimeter of Nancy's garden is 24 meters. All right? Now, if you notice the connection here, Sherry's garden to Nancy's garden, it doubled. So 4 times 2, 2 times 2. The perimeter also doubled. 12 times 2 is 24, right? Okay, good. Now, Sherry's neighbor had a garden 3 times as long and as wide as her garden. What would the relationship of the perimeter be between those gardens? So if it's 3 times, then it's going to triple. So it would be 12 times 3 is 36 for the perimeter. But let's look at that anyway. So here we go. Let me go out with this now. Hold on. There we go. All right, so Sherry's neighbor is going to be 3 times her original. So 4 times 3 equals 12 for this. And then 2 times 3 equals 6 for this. Okay? So perimeter equals 2 times 12 plus 2 times 6. And that equals 24 plus 12, which equals 36 meters. Right? So it's 3 times more. Then area equals length times width. So area equals 12 times 6. We already did that earlier in one of our other uh, problems. So the area equals 72 meters squared, or square meters. Okay? Excuse me. All right, so here's what we can do just to kind of take a look at the comparisons. Okay, we can put these three things in a chart or a table. I'll show you that in a second, but let's go back to Nancy just for a second and do area. Area equals length times width, so that's 8 times 4. So area equals 32 meters squared, right? All right, so we have area. We need area here. Yep, 8, 4 times 2, 32, and 36. So let's look at a table here real quick. This will be really interesting. We'll take a look at this. So if we take and draw a table, let me get a plain sheet of paper. All right, so we take a table here, and we draw like this. All right, I don't want to close that yet because we need, over here, we're going to need perimeter for each one. Then we're going to need area for each one, just so we can take a look at the comparisons. Okay? All right, so the first one is Sherry, her garden. What was the second one? Good, Nancy. And then the last one is neighbor. It's an H-O-R. All right, that's why I didn't want to close this yet, because I didn't know how big my writing would be. All right, there we go. So what was the perimeter of Sherry's? 12 meters, right? Good. Nancy's, 24 meters. Neighbor, 36. All right, good job. And then the area was 8 meters squared. And what was Nancy's? 32 meters squared. And then the neighbor's was 72 meters squared. Okay, good. So let's take a look here. Nancy's garden has an area of 32 square meters. The neighbor's garden has an area of 32 square meters. The length and width of Nancy's garden is double that of Sherry's garden, but the area did not double. The length is doubled and the width is doubled. So the area is actually going to be 4 times as large. So 32 times 4, or I'm sorry, 8 times 4 is 32, right? So that's Sherry's garden was 4 times smaller than Nancy's garden, okay? And then if you look again, the length and width of the neighbor's garden tripled. So 3 times 3 is 9. The area of the neighbor's garden is 9 times that of Sherry. So 9 times 8 is 72, right? So there's kind of just a glimpse at the relationship there that we have with them, with area and perimeter. So what we're going to do now is end this and go on to the problem set and work together in your groups to solve these. You can plug in together to the computer if you'd like, or you can work on your own, and then you'll grab the exit ticket when you're done with that. All right, thank you.